Welcome to another edition of The Way I See It with your host, Ralph Williams. And now, without further ado, Ralph Williams.
And good evening and welcome to another edition of The Way I See It. I am Ralph Williams. It's great to be here with you tonight. It's another Monday night and another edition of The Way I See It with me, Ralph Williams. Yeah, go out and call somebody. Call your friend, call your cousin, call someone, get them here watching The Way I See It right here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. We're here every Monday night at 7 p.m. right here. Oh, yes, absolutely. And tonight we have a pretty decent show for you. I'm doing a few different things tonight. The reason for that is not only because sometimes doing the same thing gets stale, but it's not just that. I want to help you because I don't want you to get burned like I did, okay? And then coming up later on, I'm going to explain to you what happened to me, all right, this past week as not only just part of my life story, but part of the whole general thing in common here on The Way I See It. First, we have some announcements coming up later on, but first I want to talk to you today, all right? I want to talk to you today about Hillcrest Farm. Hillcrest Farm is in Richmond, Ohio. And Hillcrest Farm has some of the best hay grain beef in the entire area. In fact, they do. All their beef is produced right there on the farm and sold and packed and sold right there on the farm. All right? What you need to do today is to take a trip up to Hillcrest Farm or get on their website, and Hillcrest Farm will actually ship it to you because now they're doing shipping. All right. So Hillcrest Farm, contact them today, 740-346-5442 and 740-632-2894. All right. So they have a variety box, $195. You get 4 pounds of burgers, 10 pounds of ground beef, 2 packs of filet mignon, 2 roasts and 10 steaks. Roast box, $200, 7 roasts. That means you can have 7 Sunday dinners and have pot roast. Wouldn't that be nice to have 7 roasts? All right. And 30 pounds of ground beef for $200. Ground beef box, my favorite, $95. You get 20 pounds of ground beef for $95. You can't beat that price anywhere. Nobody can beat that price. That price is one heck of a deal for everyone. So call them today. Hillcrest Farms, Richmond, Ohio, 45 minutes from Pittsburgh, right up the hill from Steubenville, Ohio. The number is 740-346-5442 or 740-632-2894. Email them at hillcrestfarmsohio@gmail.com. And also check out their website, and they will ship it right to you. So make sure you check out their website, okay? And that is www.hillcrestfarmsohio.com, and also on their Facebook page. And guess what? If you buy that $95 box, you'll never have to say, where's the beef? All right. Next, I want to talk to you today. Our studio sponsor is First Line Consultants, consulting services. And you need to get on their website, First Line Consulting Services. Now, you're probably wondering to me, well, what do they do? Well, I'm going to tell you exactly what First Line Consultants do. They create websites, and they have some monthly plans that are low. Get on their website today. All right. They have plans from $35 to $75 and business plans that are affordable. They will manage, upload videos, do whatever you need them to do to your website, plus create it the way you want it. All right. So get on their website today. All right, firstlineconsultantservices.com. Get on their website and check it out today. And they are our studio sponsors here for The Way I See It, and also for Sports Corner on Beaver County Radio. Don't forget tomorrow night, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. as well. Myself, Smoking Jim Frazier, our guest tomorrow. We have a lucrative lineup. We have Ray Fittipaldo from the Post-Gazette. He's going to talk about the Steelers. Leo Haggerty from Tampa and Amped Up Sports. And our new guest, who is going to make his debut, Joey Davis. And Joey Davis works for our sponsor, Draft 412. And he's going to come on tomorrow, and he's going to talk about the NBA draft. All right? And I'm going to tell you something about Smoking Jim Frazier. His godson has made it as the number one pick of the LA Lakers. So we'll talk about that tomorrow as well. Beaver County Radio, and that is 95.7 FM, 99.3 FM. Okay, WBVB and WMBA, 12:30 a.m. and also 1460 a.m. And it gets uploaded onto my YouTube channel. So those of you who watch this program and are big followers of RW Media, you will be able to watch the archive version right here. And don't forget also, it'll be on their Facebook page, Beaver County Radio's Facebook page as well. But it'll also be on YouTube. So you might want to check my YouTube channel out as well. All right. It'll be uploaded and you'll be able to watch it if you're not able to catch any of the live broadcasting, or get on Beaver County Radio's website and you can listen to it there. And if you have their app downloaded into your phone, you can do that as well. All right. And that's tomorrow night, every Tuesday, 5 to 6 p.m. The Sports Corner Show with myself and Smoking Jim Frazier on Beaver County Radio. Starts at 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. And then immediately following us is the Pirates. Tomorrow night they play the San Diego Padres. We'll be talking about the Pirates as well, and a whole lot of other sports as well on Sports Corner. We mix it up. We don't talk about the same thing. We don't talk about changing babies' diapers like the competition does. So you'll see that tomorrow on Sports Corner. And don't forget about Draft 412. Get on their website. Check them out. They have lucrative information, and they have big-time information. They break down the skinny of every player for every different type of draft, whether it's the hockey draft, which is coming up this week. Next Thursday, July 6th, because of 4th of July, Smoking Jim will be on, and I will be on Thursday, July 6th on Beaver County Radio at 5 p.m. My guest will be Joe Kuglis from Draft 412 to talk about the NHL draft, and I'm working on getting Matt Venzel on to talk about the Penguins and who they're drafting, and Marty Leap will join us from Rum Bunter. That's July 6th. Put it on your calendar as well for Sports Corner. The day has changed to Thursday due to 4th of July holiday, but Draft 412, get on their website today. Check out all the information. Very low cost of $9 a month for a subscription. And don't forget to subscribe. They have different plans, but the lowest is $9 a month, and you get their magazine right to your email with everything of all the information of all the different drafts. I want to talk to you right now about DJ Fun. And DJ Fun is a party, wedding, and special event DJ. All right. DJ Fun told me that he recently spoke to someone on the phone, or actually met with someone. And what happened? DJ Fun said it happened again, and it keeps on happening, where he is getting phone calls because supposedly these other DJs are too expensive. So I want to know why you have not called DJ Fun. 412-545-4317. It's that simple. Call DJ Fun today for your graduation parties coming up. Also, birthday parties, summer festivals, anything you need, car cruises, anything you need DJ Fun to DJ. Give him a call today. 412-545-4317. You will not have to take out a loan to hire DJ Fun. All right, let's get started with our blast segment. And I want to blast Norfolk Southern tonight. And I know what you're telling me, Ralph, why are you doing that? Because Norfolk Southern has just decided that they're going to give $35 million to help the town of East Palestine, Ohio. All right. So therefore, since they decided to do that, I'm not going to blast them about that. But what I'm blasting them about is the federal hearings that are going on right now. Why in the world would you furlough employees in a railroad A railroad is something that transports everything from everywhere. All right. It transports the majority of things that need to be transported. The number one way is through rail, okay, and ships and things like that. But rail is the number one way of doing it. And tractor trailer truck driving, okay? And here we are again. Norfolk Southern had to try to cut corners in this whole situation. And that's why I'm blasting you tonight, Norfolk Southern, because you had fatal parts. You had stuff that wasn't worked on. You claim you didn't have enough employees. You had to furlough employees. Then by the time you try to go rehire employees, forget about it. It's done. Okay? Norfolk Southern, you made big mistakes. And this time, I hope the last couple mistakes you made in Newcastle and the two in Ohio, and that other crash that you had not too long ago as well. All right, across the United States. Norfolk Southern, stop making mistakes. You're in a business where you have to transport, and I'm talking about chemicals. I'm talking about dangerous materials. All right, and you dropped the ball. That's why I'm blasting you tonight, and that is the way I see it about Norfolk Southern. Next, you enter a Century 3 Mall. You lied, and I'm blasting you tonight because you lied. Oh, we got 24-hour security, you told West Mifflin. You told everybody on the news, oh, we got 24-hour security. What happened to that kid? Nothing else will happen. Well, guess what happened last week? 3 people trespassed on Century 3 Mall's property, aired it on social media. That's how they got caught. Okay? But this was supposed to stop. And Century 3 Mall's ownership needs to be hauled to the carpet. And once again, West Mifflin dropped the ball yet again because they listened and believed them. All right? If I'm West Mifflin, and I don't care if my taxes go up if I live in West Mifflin, I would go get a lawyer and I'd go after this ownership group. And what I would do is I would tell them that they have to sign a contract that states, and I quote, that you will have 24-hour security there to handle these problems. Well, how did these guys get into the building again? You were supposed to have 24. You kept the media away, but you couldn't keep these 3 guys away. That is the way I see it tonight, and that's why I'm blasting the owners of Century 3 Mall. Next, my next blast is the Urban Tap over in East Liberty. You know what? Right on Broad Street, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Okay? A shame, shame, shame. Right? The health department went in. They shut you down. And you know why? Dead rats. Why in the world would you even have a business open with dead rats beside food? A crappy kitchen, a messy kitchen, all right? But the biggest thing is dead rats. What's the matter, Urban Tap? You couldn't afford an exterminator? You couldn't afford to go out and get rat traps or do something? No, instead you let it happen. And this is around food, and you're serving stuff like this. I kudos to the Allegheny County Health Department for finally cracking down on this. That is the way I see it tonight about the Urban Tap over on Broad Street in East Liberty. Next, my next blast, former Highmark employee who stole money from insurance accounts. You know what? This is getting out of control everywhere. Instead of doing it the right way, we're still doing it this way. And it's really sad because now you're stealing money because you have a gambling debt or you want to go on these exotic vacations. But I get heck for suggesting that people go to Canton, Ohio to watch the Maulers championship game this Saturday. And I'm getting all these emails because I said on Facebook, great trip idea. Oh, why would I want to take my kid to the Football Hall of Fame or to see the Maulers? Because the Maulers are in the championship game, unlike all of our other sports teams in this town. All right? And I think we should support them. And Canton, Ohio is not that far of a drive. The cost is only $25 per ticket. So go get them. Go there. Take your kids there. I don't want to hear it when gas prices are high. Oh, Ralph, the gas prices are high. Oh, Ralph, I can't take my kid to Disney World because the airlines are screwing everybody. And oh, Ralph, they cut the flights back, or I had to wait 6 hours for an airplane. I don't want to hear it. I gave you an opportunity, and you stuck it in my face. So you know what? That tonight is the way I see it about the former Highmark employee. All right? Quit stealing from people, Highmark employees, former Highmark employees, therefore. All right? Stealing from insurance accounts. What is wrong with you? Next, the state, I'm blasting tonight for their computer involving the hunting licenses. This year, the state tried to be, you can do it online. So I set this up, and what happens? The computers crash. Because the first day, everybody went online to get their hunting license so they don't have to go 6 years somewhere and drive all over the place. And again, because of gas prices being high, have to drive somewhere to go get it. All right? Plus, you got to pay for, your equipment and whatever you're doing. So you want to save whatever kind of time there is to save. Finally, somebody's waking up here. So I thought, well, that's a nice idea. But now I hear the computers crashed and people can't get their hunting licenses. Thanks a lot, state of PA. Josh Shapiro. You dropped the ball again. All right. And this time it's for this. That's the way I see it tonight. Next, the Ohio Animal Rescue, who closed and left 146 animals lay there. Shame on you. Why in the world would you close up an animal rescue and leave all the animals just sit there and just leave them there? Say, forget about everything else with these people and just leave it there. Why? Because you chose to. Why? Because I don't know why. All I know is you're sick. All I know is it's disgusting. And all I know is there's something wrong with this picture when you continue to do that. And that tonight is the way I see it. All right, let's go to the comments section real quick before we get into Bonehead. Gary says, thank you for watching, Gary. West Mifflin has been the decline since the late 2000s. You're right about that, Gary. I do agree with you on that, and they have no backbone. Paul says West Mifflin dropped the ball when the mall was open. Probably those same kids' parents were peeing on cars, and now their kids are a chip off the old block, West Mifflin, worse than Norfolk Southern. Absolutely. You got that right, Paul. I agree with you on that. All right. Our boneheaded segment tonight. Russian President Vladimir Putin. Why would you piss off a mercenary group? That's our bonehead tonight for him. All right, next. Another person trying to sneak a gun into Pittsburgh International Airport. It never ends. It never stops. It's just going to continue to happen because nobody cares. Nobody cares. The delivery driver who left someone's order sit around for 2 hours at a Panera Bread. And you want to know why? Because they didn't tip. It was a $92 order. They expected the tip to already be on the order. And because it wasn't there, they let it sit there for 2 hours. Wonderful. That's a boneheaded move. McDonald's employee who asked the customer at a drive-thru to pay for the customer upfront's order because the car in front of them didn't have the appropriate funds for their order, didn't have any money. I guess their credit card or the debit card, they had no cash. All right. So they pull up at the drive-thru, and I've had this happen to me, but I've never been stuck to where I had to have somebody else pay for it. Okay. All right. I was short maybe 10 cents or something like that. All right. So here we are. This McDonald's employee says to this lady, well, can you please pay for the car up front's order? She said no. That was a boneheaded move. That's why nobody cares. Next, convicted double murderer who decided to elbow his lawyer right in court. He's already in for double murder. Now he wants to get assault for elbowing his lawyer. All right, my life story this week. Interesting week, okay? Those of you who are not aware, tonight's broadcast is in dedication to my father, my late father, Ralph Williams II. Passed away last week. Actually, he passed away June 9th. But I'm going to come up later on in key topics, and we're going to start the key topic conversation off with this. This is why I say tonight, if you're ever involved in an estate, watch your P's and Q's. Make sure you got all your ducks in a row. Because if you don't, you're going to get screwed. Okay? But I'm going to tell you what happened, but I'm going to do it later on because I don't want to interrupt the rest of my life story. Started on Tuesday. What a beautiful day on Tuesday. Why? Because it was the debut of Sports Corner radio broadcast with myself and Smoking Jim Frazier on Beaver County Radio. And we had a blast. My guest in the studio was Claudia Rosano. On the phone, I had Luther Dupree, okay, and Smoking Jim Frazier. We had a blast. I mean, it was so great. And Leo Haggerty called in from Amped Up Sports, who is one of our sponsors for the show. All right. Amped Up Sports and Sideline Sports are a national Facebook, and they put up shows on their websites and on their Facebook pages. Okay. All right. Both of them. So I'm sponsored now by both of those organizations, Sideline Sports and Amped Up Sports. Okay. So it was nice to see Leo call in and say, hey, congrats on your show and everything else. I didn't get any other phone calls, which I expect. But one thing I did get was 300 views on Beaver County Radio's Facebook page. 300 views. I think for a debut show, that's not bad. Okay? I think that is just great. All right? For a debut show, first show, that is not bad. Okay? And I think that this show's going to make its hay in Pittsburgh and around the country. And the reason I say that is because I'm going to make it work. This is what I have been wanting to do for a long time. But the other stations in this town wouldn't give me the opportunity to do so. So I made my own way. Okay? And now some of those stations are going to pay the price because they should have decided to do this and they didn't. In one way, I'm kind of happy. I like doing things on my own. I like doing it my way. And that's what Beaver County Radio lets me do. Okay? I say what I feel like, and no one can be offended. Okay? All right? I have some great sponsors right now. And later on, I'm going to talk about that as well. Because I think there's a lot of people out here that need to sponsor my show so I can help them make money. Okay? And we'll talk about that later on as well. On Monday, I toured the studio. It was really nice to go there and tour. I got to sit down with Eddie Crow, watch him work a little bit. I had a meeting with the staff. They know who I am. Everyone in Beaver County now knows who I am. Okay? This show's going to be next. Somewhere, somehow, someday, this show's going to be next. Okay? One station wanted to pull a bunch of BS with me and didn't want this show. That station knows who they are. Okay? All right, on Wednesday, went to Shop and Save in West Mifflin. Again, I'm very unhappy with the owners of, I don't know if the same owners who own Century 3 Mall own Century Square. They didn't do something with that road. Those roads up in there are horrible. The whole potholes are not patched. The road is terrible. You got to literally have a four-wheel drive vehicle or have one of those all-terrain vehicles to get up and down the thing. Okay, the landscaping is horrible. All right, and you still have businesses even though the mall itself is gone. So whoever owns that property, and if it's owned by the same people who probably own Century 3 Mall, shame on you and shame on West Mifflin for not getting this done. Okay? All right. You know, West Mifflin is the hub for a lot of things. The Allegheny County Airport, Kennywood. Okay? Formerly Century 3 Mall. All right, the old GE plant, the steelworks in the Mon Valley there, behind the county airport. Okay? It's a hub for a lot of things. You would think that this government would have a little more ideas as to some things, but I was not satisfied at all with the way the roads look going up in the Century Square Mall. It's sad. And if you don't have a four-wheel drive vehicle, then don't go up there. And if you're a business owner, like Planet Fitness is up there and some of these other ones, shame on you. To let your customers and your clients go up there in that kind of condition of a road. All right. And then on Friday, I met with someone from Draft 412. We were discussing some business opportunities between the two of us. Joe Kuglis, Dave Finoli, and all those guys there at Draft 412 are some great people. Okay. I met with one of their guys on Friday at the waterfront. The waterfront's a ghost town nowadays in the morning. Met at Barnes & Noble. Went in there, found out, man, they got toys and stuff in there now. Oh, wow. It really changed the complexity. Records. Wow. CDs, DVDs. Never really went into a Barnes & Noble all that much, except to go in to get magazines that I needed for sports. But other than that, I never really, indulged in there. Always went to half-price books if I wanted to get books. And now you can order on Amazon. So why go to Barnes & Noble, actually? I do want you to go to the one in Robinson, though, because that is the one where Claudio Rosano's book is there. So go there and get his book. All right. So it's my life story this week. Had a great time this week. Didn't do too bad other than the fact that my father passed away. All right. Let's get into our key topics. And one of them tonight is, and I don't usually do this. I let other folks do that. Gary says, I think you may have an impact, Ralph. There are plans to place and fix those roads and parking lot. Well, thank you, Gary. I do have an impact. I might not be on the radio, but I'm here. And this is an impact. Social media is a tool. And I'm getting my broadcast out there, whether I'm on the radio or not. I'm here. It's all across the country, everywhere. People watch this show everywhere because they can. Okay. All right. Key topics. First, I want to talk about estates. Now, if your parents or you have a family member never passes away, please make sure that you dot the I and cross the T's with wills and life insurance policies. My father passed away June 9th. I went to call him on Sunday, last Sunday, for Father's Day. I couldn't get a hold of him. It went straight to voicemail. That's uncommon for my father. I kept calling and kept calling. I thought, well, maybe he had his phone off. Maybe he's charging his phone. Okay. The next day, I called again. Went right to voicemail. Left a message again. Okay. So my mom and I, we decided to have a discussion. My wife and I had a discussion. And they both were wondering, well, maybe he passed. But wait a second here. What am I missing? If he passed, then why didn't I know about it? Okay. Well, it turns out my dad passed away. Okay. And I wasn't told. His wife never called me. Okay. And this is going on June 9th now. This is the day he passed away. They had a quick funeral, 1 day service or whatever, a mass or whatever they did. He was cremated. My own family, my aunt, my dad's sister, my cousins up there in Oil City didn't even bother to call me either. I call up there. I said, you knew about it, didn't bother to call me. Well, my cousin, of course. Now, I don't mean to be rude or anything like that. Elevator hasn't gotten off the ground yet. Says to me, well, I knew about your dad, but you failed to call me. I'm his son. I'm the only child that he has that recognizes him. Because I have a sister who my father pissed off so bad that she had to get out of this country. That's how bad it was. He didn't like it because my sister is married to a woman. And my dad, over the years, has tried to get me to do something about it, and I stayed out of it. It's none of my business. Okay? That was one thing that my dad and I disagreed on. But my dad was never really in my life. But I still respected him as my father. Thank you for the condolences, Gary. I appreciate that. Yeah, it is terrible. And I urge you out there, so you don't have the problem that I just had. I don't get burned, that you don't get burned. Okay? And I have this to say to his wife, who, if she's watching right now, or if anyone who knows her, okay? I'm coming for you. I am calling you, and I'm going to find you, and we're going to have a discussion as to why you didn't call me to let me know that my father passed away. I spent the last few days grieving over this. I'm agitated, I'm irritated, and I'm angry. And if it wasn't for my wife and my mom, okay, and some folks at my church, I'd be a wreck right now. My mom said this to me last night. You have a show to do tomorrow. Get it done. You have a show on Tuesday. Get it done. She said, put your father aside. He knows you're there. Okay? Despite the fact that his wife and knows that he and I haven't gotten along over the many years because he was never in my life. Until 1996, he decides to show up and knock on my door. All right? But don't get burned. I'm telling you right now, do not get burned. All right? Do not get burned at all with this. Make sure you dot the I and cross the T's on a life insurance policy. Make sure that if there's a will made out and you're entitled to anything, make sure you get it. Because my thought process is his wife is running because there's something in that will or in that life insurance policy that has my name on it. And she didn't want to tell me about it. And you know what? This is how stupid she is. And I've said this many times. You can't fix stupid, and stupid never takes a vacation. And this right here is a prime example of this. If she thinks I'm stupid, I'm not. I am taking legal action against this lady if I find out that there's anything involving my name on anything involving my father and his death. And my family up in Oil City, my aunt and my cousins, who are supposed to be Christian religious people. But she didn't have the audacity to call me and tell me my father died. Okay? That is the way I see it. That's why tonight's show and tomorrow night's radio show is dedicated to my father. I don't want this to ever happen to you. And I owe it to myself to tell you about this. Dot the I's and cross the T's. Part of this is my fault because my dad and I really, we got along to get along, but we really didn't. Because he was never in my life. We talked on the phone. I was going to see him about 3 years ago. And what happened was, it was right smack dab in the middle of COVID. My wife and I were on a trip to Ocean City, Maryland. We were planning on spending the whole month of June traveling. We were going to Ocean City. Then we were going to go to Baltimore, where my father lived, visit him, and then go down to Raleigh, North Carolina, and then come back. Fortunately for us, we were already in Ocean City. I get a call from the hotel that we were supposed to be staying at in Baltimore saying, can't come here. Actually, it was across the bridge from Baltimore in Towson, near Towson University. Can't come here, Mr. Williams. I just found out today, and I'm sorry to break the bad news to you late, which, of course, I'm used to by now. Bad communication. The hotel said to me, we can't do anything for you because all of our rooms got bought out by Towson University for COVID. Okay. So I couldn't go see my dad. And then he told me he was staying in a house in Baltimore. There was a couple folks. I met a kid who works in Ocean City but lives in Baltimore. And he told me that his employer had to put him up at a hotel for a week or two because there was riots and some other nonsense going on in Baltimore, and they had the city closed. And my dad recommended me not to come there. So I'm sitting there on the pier in Ocean City. My wife comes up to me and says, you know what, I was thinking maybe we shouldn't go to Raleigh. And no sooner did she say that, the phone rang. It was the hotel we booked on in Raleigh. They were having problems. Please don't come down here, Mr. Williams. We're canceling your room out. We're closing up. Apparently, there was a cop involved in the shooting again. They firebombed the police chief's house. They went after the mayor. They were downtown rioting, doing all kinds of stupid stuff down there. I don't know what it was. I don't even care. All I know is I couldn't go there either. So I ended up staying in Ocean City, Maryland. Okay. I was safe. I came home earlier than we wanted to, but at least we knew we were safe and we got home. We didn't have to put up with any of that. Would have been a lot of driving, being tired, here stops here and there and everything else. And it would have turned out to be a mess at the time. And because of COVID, everything would have been shut down. It's the way I see it tonight. Next. All right, let's get started with another key topic, Norfolk Southern. On one hand, Norfolk Southern has given $35 million to East Palestine. They're testing water. They're still cleaning up. They claim nothing's wrong. Nothing is going to cause any problems. Okay? Fine. Do you really trust Norfolk Southern if you live in East Palestine? Or in the surrounding area, more or less? Do you trust them? I wouldn't. I don't trust them now. Now they're involved in these hearings in regards to why all these derailments are happening. Well, here they came out and said why. They furloughed employees. They didn't have enough employees to do jobs. They let parts get decrepit. They let things fall apart. So what happens when that stuff happens? Safety becomes a problem. And as I said in the blast, when you are a railroad and you're one of the number one means of transportation of moving things all over the country, and safety is important because a lot of times these trains go through some small towns. So Norfolk Southern had no consideration, none whatsoever, for safety. And I understand there's unions involved, and I understand, but what you don't understand is safety. And Norfolk Southern had none of it. They didn't care. And every week, when you watch my show, I always come up with a reason for someone not to care. Go to the grocery store lately. Does the cashier or the bagger care about making sure your eggs don't get squashed or your bread doesn't get squashed? Or no. Do they care that they put laundry detergent in with the lunch meat from the deli? No. Does anyone care to go out and work? No. And Norfolk Southern has come up with the same thing that everyone else is having problems with. Money. They furloughed all kinds of employees. And they overworked a lot of their other employees that they had, and they cut hours and they cut service times. So they couldn't get anything done. And they were told to replace parts. They were told to fix things that way. Okay? Yeah, Travis, we'll get the popcorn popping and the sodas pouring because we're here tonight. It's the way I see it. We're here every Monday night, 7 o'clock p.m. YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And now, Sports Corner Radio Show is being uploaded onto the YouTube channel. We're back. We weren't gone long. All right. That's the way I see it tonight. So let me ask you this tonight in our next topic here. And I want to know what you're doing to make a living. Somebody's got to be doing something. Or did you hide money away like a squirrel hides a nut? Or a bear has enough food for when they hibernate to feed their cubs? What are you doing to make money? You don't have to tell me. I don't care, because you're probably not going to anyway. Do you sit at home playing around with the Xbox and PlayStation? I know folks that do that. They're capable of working. They could be making $30 an hour doing painting work, but they don't. This society today has gotten so lazy that businesses are going under because they can't find help. Good businesses, restaurants that have been in business for 60 years. You think the owner, as old as they are, as long as they've been in the business, want to be working 18-hour days because you don't want to work? No. And you know who suffers? People like myself and you, and the good people out there. And there are some good people. But in today's society, we don't care. And this is, again, another example of it. Because we have a bad inflation, a bad economy right now. And nobody wants to work. And this is a strange inflation. There's jobs out there, but no one's working. In the past, when there was inflation problems, we had no jobs. We had nothing. We have jobs. Nobody wants to work. So I ask you tonight, those of you out there who are the Xboxers and the PlayStationers and the cell phoners and the ones who got spoiled from working at home and got spoiled from getting paid by unemployment in your state, it's gone. All that is gone. Okay? Why are you not getting up and working? How are you making money? How are you doing it? I couldn't do it, but I have to because I am disabled. And I am in a wheelchair. All right? Or believe me, I could put anybody to shame working. I've done it my whole life. I've done it since I was 12 years old. Volunteering at camp, stuff like that. All right? But see, nowadays, nobody learns any of that stuff. The only thing that's taught here is how to use the cell phone. The only thing that's taught here is how to screw people. The only thing that's taught here is how to use a gun and shoot somebody instead of sitting down and talking it over. It's so bad right now that colleges are struggling. They just had a report today that Pitt and Penn State, not the branch camp, I'm not talking about the big campuses, I'm talking about the regional campuses, like the Penn State McKeesports and the Pitt Johnstowns and places like that. Enrollment's way down. They can't find people to be teachers, social workers, pilots, doctors, nurses, lawyers. So what do you want to do? I don't want to do anything. We used to have people come to school, to my high school, and talk to us about jobs. Gosh, I had people in middle school telling me about jobs in different fields. Okay? Fast food places now, some of them are paying $15 an hour, and they can't find people. But you bitched about that $15 an hour. You had a rally once a year about how we want $15 an hour. And here we are, $15 an hour later, and you don't want to work. Pennsylvania has just finally decided to come up with a minimum wage bill. Maybe, and then you get these Republicans on here. Here we go again. Oh, small businesses, they can't afford that. They can go out of business. Really? No. It's about time that this state get with the think outside the box a little bit. West Virginia, who is a way smaller state than us, their minimum wage is $10 an hour. And we're still dragging at $7.15 an hour. That is not only disgusting, that is unacceptable to me or to anyone. It should be. But there are not a lot of places paying minimum wage. They're paying above that now. And it's for that reason that minimum wage is going up in the state, and that's a great thing. So those of you who vote, and there's probably a lot of you who don't, and I don't blame you, because a lot of people don't trust politicians, and that's true. Okay? All right? That's the way I see it tonight. You should vote your politician out if they don't vote for this minimum wage bill. I'm tired of hearing the crying. Small little businesses won't be able to survive. Well, they're not surviving now. Okay? Everything goes up in the world. We do nothing about it. But we're going to squawk because minimum wage is going up for the workers. It's called selective complaining. Yeah, that's what I call it. That's the way I see it. Businesses going under. You're a business out there. You'll spend $1 million. Because, believe me, radio advertising is not cheap. By no stretch of the imagination. Some of these stations have cut prices down on their advertising dollars to charge you as a business or whatever it is you do that you want to advertise on the radio. Because you can advertise on social media cheap. You can advertise for free otherwise. There are a lot of different reasons why that advertising on the radio has declined. The radio stations, when the internet came out, did not get with the program. They kept, the music industry kept charging a lot for music, and then you had these sites that all of a sudden started playing music for free, and now they're gouging people. Okay? Because now they know they can make money with it, and a lot of people are streaming their music. They're not listening to the radio anymore, even though it's still there. I have a show on Beaver County Radio called Sports Corner. I'm always looking for advertising sponsors. Okay? And you're probably saying to me, well, Ralph, why are you on here saying something about this? Because you know why? I put out 100 emails in the last 3 days. I got not a one response back. Not a one. I have a company in Primanti Brothers who acted like my $800 a year for advertising was going to cost them $1 million. Paul says part of it is people who do not want to work push people who don't want to work. The people who don't want to work are usually management, who puts no efforts into anything they do. True, there are bad managers out there. There are bad owners of companies. There are pigs. There are jerks. There are morons. And they're all out there. And it's not all the people who are lazy. There are people lazy because they've had bad experiences. But not everybody has a bad experience. There are family-run businesses that are paying $30 an hour, and they can't find people. Okay? But one company said some of his people didn't open their laptop for a month. Well, whose fault is that? His. He out on the beach somewhere while his workers are screwing around. That's why businesses close up for vacation because employees steal. That's again, nobody cares. Good workers probably held down the fort. Yes. It's not fair. Life has never been fair. If it was, we'd all be happy. It's the way I see it tonight with that. The submarine that imploded. How in the world does the submarine implode? Well, first of all, what I want to know is why the National Transportation Safety Board didn't go after this company who operated this submarine. And there were the facts, they were cited. There were facts that things were not right. There were former employees who indicated that that submarine was bad. You wouldn't catch me alive on a submarine like that going to see the Titanic. I could care less about the Titanic. Okay? And I don't want to go in the ocean because I don't want to get bit by a shark or an alligator or any of that stuff. I'll stay on land. Okay? So the submarine sinks, never comes back up, takes for weeks to find, or a week or so, or whatever it was to find these people. Then they finally found out after sending sonar or whatever it is they send down below the ocean surface that the submarine imploded. I want to know where the National Transportation Safety Board or someone who inspects these vehicles, they dropped the ball. Whoever these folks are, they need to be hauled to the carpet because in my eyes, that's unacceptable. Okay? Very unacceptable to me, and it should be to you too. As someone who may travel to the beach and may want to go on that quest to go see what the Titanic looks like. Okay? All right? But 7 casualties because of this. And again, probably 7 casualties that could have been avoided if somebody would have done their job. That's the way I see it tonight. Russia and North Korea issues. Ha ha. Oh my gosh. I have to laugh. Vladimir Putin has so much egg on his face right now. He's starting to lose in Ukraine, which you know my thoughts on Ukraine. Okay. And now he's about to lose his country. And he screwed over. One thing you never do, and this is how stupid this guy is. This is how stupid he is. All right? You never, ever screw over mercenaries. If you've ever watched a history or channel or any of those, and you watch documentaries on mercenaries, one thing you never do is piss off mercenaries. Well, he did by bombing their position in the Ukraine war. And they got so angry with him, they went to Moscow, and they were going to dethrone him. They were going to get him out. They may have even wanted to kill him. But he got his ass out of trouble. All right? The North Korean dictator, there's rumors I'm hearing now that he might be getting cooed out. His people are starting a revolution against him. I can't pronounce his name, so I just say him. All right? So the North Korean dictator could be on his way out too. And guess who gets the blame for it? The United States, the West. We all get the blame for this. Who better to blame? All right? No, what both of those leaders should do is blame themselves because they were stupid enough to be such idiots that they did this. It's the way I see it tonight. Next. Robert Bowers. 32 counts the jury has him on. Life in prison, or do you think he'll get the death penalty? It doesn't matter. But if he does get the death penalty, it's not going to be here. It'll be at a federal prison somewhere else. So the law, whatever the laws are in that state, if they agree on the death penalty, then he couldn't be involved in the death penalty. Okay? Here, we still have people from the 70s who killed cops still hanging on death row that we haven't done anything to yet because our state doesn't believe in that. And we have another governor here who doesn't believe in it either. Okay? Which, in my eyes, is a waste of taxpayers' money. But your politicians, they don't see it that way. All right? That's the way I see it on that. Oh, my gosh. Justice in the wind. Former Mayor Bill Peduto and the folks who wanted that Columbus statue removed from Schenley Park have some maliciously big amount of egg on your face. And you know why you have egg on your faces? Because the Columbus statue is still sitting over there with that tarp on it. And you're still in court fighting with, because there's some people who are actually suing you for doing this. Okay? So the city's getting sued for doing this. Bill Peduto put it that way. All right? What I don't get is he's Italian himself. Okay? And Columbus discovered America, and this is the way we treat a statue. Oh, but you don't understand. He was involved in some kind of slavery thing. He discovered this country. He discovered this country, Christopher Columbus. So what if he was a bad leader? Everybody makes mistakes. Okay? All right. So now the tarp is still on the Columbus statue. It's still where it is in Schenley Park. And now they're going to be ordered by a judge because the city doesn't want to pay for this lawsuit to take that tarp off that statue and leave it there. I love it. Egg on your face. How do you like that one? There's your tax dollars, folks, that live in the city of Pittsburgh. Because what did I say on a show or two before? We worry about the little beanie people that complain about the stupidest things. Who cares about the Columbus statue? They're not rallying to remove it in Philly. So why here? They're not. They protested in Raleigh. It's done. Statue's still there. They defamed it a little bit, but it's still there. Okay? That's history, man. The guy is history. The history of this country. And so what if he was bad? Hitler was, or not Hitler, Douglas MacArthur did dumb things in the wars and stuff like that, and people like that. He has a statue. Nobody bothers it. Okay? That's the way I see it tonight about the Columbus statue in Schenley Park with the tarp still on it. All right. Some small topics here. Outgoing Pitt Chancellor Patrick Gallagher, who I wish wasn't resigning because he actually put some money into the Pitt sports program. He got Aaron Donald to donate money. We'll see what happens with this new chancellor. But he has a street named after him now, right on the campus. Congrats to Patrick Gallagher. That's the way I see it tonight. The Huddle Restaurant, 47 years in Beachview, is closing up. Guy's 78 years old, man. He wants to enjoy his life the rest of the way, what's left of it. Spent 47 years there. Sad to hear, but you know what? That's the way I see it tonight. Next. Okay, never mind. That's it, really, for my small topics tonight. All right. Just a few announcements. Don't forget tomorrow night. All right. Tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon, 5 p.m. start time, 5 to 6 p.m. Beaver County Radio, FM 99 or 95.7, 99.3 in Western Pennsylvania, AM 1230, and also AM 1460 WBVP and WMBA. Sports Corner with myself and Smoking Jim Frazier. Our guests will be Ray Fittipaldo from the Post-Gazette to talk about the Steelers, Leo Haggerty from Tampa. We're going to talk about this Antonio Brown thing, about how he's accusing Tampa Bay of treating him like a dog. And then at 5:45, we're going to have Joey Davis on from Draft 412 to talk about the NBA draft. So don't forget to tune in either on Beaver County's live on their Facebook page or on YouTube, on their YouTube channel, and also on their website. You can listen in there, and you can also, if you have the app on your phone, you can listen on the app as well. So whether you live in California or wherever you live, my friend Peter Blake said he watched it on Facebook in Tampa. Said he enjoyed it. All right. I want to thank everyone for all the accolades and all the stuff from it. Yes, I do have the talent of being on the radio. I just was never given an opportunity. Okay. Politics as it is, you know how it is on jobs. A little bit of a politics. Well, that's the way it is in this town in radio. The old boys gang doesn't want to get offended. Paul says, another great show. Take it easy and take care. Thank you, Paul. Thank you as well. Thank you, Eric, and all my steady watchers of the show. So, and thank you, Travis and Gary, all you guys who tune into the show regularly. All right. 300 views for the first debut show on Beaver County Radio's Facebook page. Over 300 views. Don't forget Thursday night on Blog Talk Radio, 347-205-9631. Wrestle Talk, myself, Smoking Jim Frazier, and Mark Mancini. We're going to be talking about the Money in the Bank pay-per-view coming up with WWE and the Forbidden Door pay-per-view that just ended on Sunday or last night. We'll talk about that as well. Wednesday night, and I left this out, and I apologize for that, 10:30 p.m. on the Sports Web, brought to you by Amped Up Sports, who happen to be a sponsor of my Sports Corner show. Peter Blake and the Sports Web will be hosting with myself and Mark Mancini. Turnbuckle Talk. We talk for about 45 minutes about wrestling, 10:30 to 11:15, Wednesday night. Saturday morning, 9:30 a.m., Blog Talk Radio, 347-205-9631. 9:30 to 10 a.m. is the External Bum podcast. We talk about bums in sports and all the sports in general as it goes. Myself, Mark Mancini. All right, and then once in a while we have Joe Kuglis on and Avi Greenwald as contributors as well and guests on the show. I'm Ralph Williams. It was great to be here tonight for the way I see it. And I look forward to being back here next week to talk with you about things in general and the way I see it. So until next Monday, 7 p.m., everyone have a great night and thank you. Be safe.